Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. Spring is in the air. I got blue bonnets on my shirt, blue bonnets popping in the garden. It's your host with the most, Paul Cantu, reminding you that Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
So the mission in today's video is going to be to plant a bunch of things that I recently purchased, some of which were half off on sale, some of which are edible, and a ton of the plants that I did grab are native plants. And the mission of me gardening, and the reason why I do this, is to not only put you guys onto really cool native plants that attract pollinators and wildlife into your life, but also just to show you guys that you can do this on a budget and truly have an oasis in your own suburban yard. So the first plant that I am throwing in the ground in the year of our Lord 2025 is going to be my best producing fruit tree, which I found again at Lowe's for 15 bucks. And it is this mulberry tree. This is called a dwarf everbearing mulberry, Morris nigra. So I'm gonna go ahead and plant this right in this corner to obscure this fence. It will get big. My son loves munching on the fruit, and I have this exact same tree planted 10 feet away on the outside of my property. So I want a big, lush looking fruit bearing tree that is edible, so I can munch on it while I cruise the backyard. Let's go ahead and get this dude in the ground. In 2 years, it will be as big as my other mulberry, which is, again, just a few feet away. So let's go ahead and replace my Barbados cherry, which got killed in the freeze that passed through Houston, Texas, with the mulberry. All right, here we go. First plant of 2025. Everbearing mulberry, root bound. Now these trees are super easy to grow. The dwarf variety actually grows more like a bush. And if you live in zone 6B all the way to zone 10, you can easily grow this tree. Here's a mulberry tree I planted after 1 year, and here's its growth after 2 years. I mean, these things grow quickly, so I'm very excited to see this little baby turn up and eventually produce fruit, which it does in the spring and the summer. Absolutely delightful. Okay, class. So as I mentioned, I want to put in some pollinator plants. So I did purchase a ton of small flowers from Buchanan's Native Plant Nursery. And I have this circular garden bed, which definitely needs some flowers thrown in it. So me and my boy out here, and we're about to throw in some flowers. So we have some small blanket flowers, Gallardia. So let's get those ready to put in the ground. Now, Gallardia aristata can grow from zones 3 all the way to 9. They are native to the US and are perennial, so they'll come back every year. Okay, good job. All right, we got the flower here. Get it with your hands and put it in the hole. Good job, buddy. So I like putting all the flowers in groups of 3. So I'm gonna put 2 more beside it, and hopefully it'll spread over this bed. All right, there we go. Let's put this one here. All right, dude, there's another one. All right, where do you think this one should go? Right here or right here?
Right here.
Right here. So with that expert advice, I threw in the 3rd blanket flower of the trio. And yes, these look fairly insignificant as of the moment, but trust me, the show they put on is astounding. Just check out what these look like in bloom, and here is a mass of them after being planted for only 1 year. They spread by seed, offsets, and root division, and I planted only 3 plants, and this is how far it has spread in only 1 year's time. So I added 2 more to this front little garden bed. I just want to put on quite a show as any neighbors walk by. It is a native prairie plant that is quite resilient. So the next plants I'm throwing in is this Damianita, this Chrysanthia mexicana. And this one claims it's drought tolerant. It has beautiful small yellow flowers. Okay, look at those flowers. So I want to put this in the front bed as well. This area gets a lot of sun. It's kind of dry, so let's do it. Damianita, baby. Highly drought resistant, evergreen, aromatic foliage. 1 to 2 feet tall. This is a perfect sidewalk plant. I gotta see how it performs in this area. It loves full sun, so hopefully it works wonders. So I also have this tiny little Texas Bettany. I'm gonna throw this in. It is a Salvia, 3 feet tall, red spikes. We're gonna try it out in this front garden bed.
What are you doing?
Daddy's planting this Texas Batoni. So the next plant I'm throwing in is this twisted leaf goldenrod. This was $7. And I'm going to plant it in my little pocket prairie that I have established in my backyard over the last few years. I've had a ton of native prairie species that are flowering. It looks beautiful. I have wine cups coming in right now, but I think if I can have this area filled in with a tall goldenrod, it will definitely look nice. So we're gonna put this kind of towards the back area. Hopefully it'll take off and spread. This spot looks relatively good, so we'll throw it in. Goldenrods have a special value to pollinators, especially native bees, so growing these is extremely important. They grow from Virginia all the way down to Texas. So while we're on the subject of wildflowers, I have been snatching up a couple of my wine cups that were growing in inopportune places. I dug them up early this winter, placed them in these pots, and now they are a bit more mature. So I'm gonna place these in specific parts of the garden that are on the exterior, like the side part of my yard where the hell strip is. That way they can grow and start reseeding themselves readily. As y'all can tell, I have a ton of wine cup growing everywhere. They do self-seed and they do spread and they put on quite a show, and they get about 3 feet tall. So these will look really nice, kind of in the mid to back areas of my garden beds. So the bed behind me is where the wine cups are going to go, and they really don't sell these at too many nurseries, and it's really awesome that I grew the originators, the original parents, from seeds, and now I have all these babies. Forgive the way the area looks behind me too. My house is getting renovated right now, but let's go. So wine cups are another prairie plant, which means they could grow on the Great Plains. That is from Texas all the way up to Wyoming, zones 4 to 9. And what also is cool is they are perennials. You can smoke their roots or make a tea out of their roots to relieve some pain. What? Y'all see my longleaf pine? Endangered. What's up? Okay, so I'm gonna throw in one other wine cup. Got it in my hand right now. This dude is heavy. It's going in this corner, which is like no man's land. I'm also gonna seed this area with wildflower seeds because what the hell? We're just gonna see what takes off in this corner because some like power line, or I think it's the gas line, people came in and just completely unearthed and upended my shrubs right there. These delinquents. Look at this empty area. Can you imagine it with wine cups, dude? Can you imagine? Oh God. But yes, I planted the last wine cup plug and seeded the area with a bunch of native wildflower seeds from Native American Seed Company. Let's go. So as you guys probably should know by now, if you see a Paul Plant 2 video, I am gonna have at some point in the course of the cinema a piece that is on sale. So I have 2 of these Adam's Needle Golden Sword Yuccas that I got for $17 a piece, like damn near a year ago, and they do not get frozen during freezes. They stay perfect. Now these Adam's needles are another native plant that can grow from zones 4 all the way to 11. That is Wisconsin, damn near to Mexico. They look gorgeous. They need full sun. That's why I'm putting it in this front flower bed. And what I found is this variety in particular does better than the normal Adam's needle. The variegation looks better, and I find them on sale at Lowe's quite frequently in Houston. Yes. So the next Adam's needle I'm gonna place right on the edge of this interior bed. It gets a ton of morning sun, and the best performing Adam's needle I have is right along this hell strip as well. So let's get it in. Now another added benefit of these Adam's needle yuccas is that once they are in the ground, they will shoot off pups. So it's a plant that just keeps regenerating itself over and over. And it also will shoot up a white beam of flowers, which will look really awesome once that stalk does show up and show out. But yes, here is Adam's needle number 2, again, half off. So last and not least are these tide plants, which I cut down right before the freeze. They have roots growing on the bottom of them. So I'm just gonna find random places in the yard just to stick these in to get a burst of color, because I hate losing these in terms of them dying to the ground every single time a freeze rolls through. So I did preserve some of their height and girth, strength, and let's add this pop of burgundy pink fuchsia into the back tropical garden. So that is my cheat code to maximizing cordylines. Cut them down before a freeze, and then you can plant them in the ground as tall as they were before. So that does it, man. We have a ton of amazing plants in the ground. Hopefully y'all did enjoy today's video. I got the plants as much on a budget as humanly possible, and or just self-generated them here on my own property, and that is the way things should go. Especially if you have an older established garden, you usually can take plugs, take some growth, some offshoots, some pups, some babies, and rearrange them. So now I'm starting to enter that sacred spot where my plants are just making more of themselves that I can distribute evenly throughout the yard. But if y'all did take anything away from this video, please let me know in the comment section down below. Smash the like button, it always helps me out. And also subscribe if you guys are not already. With that being said, please remember, Earth is my planet.
Earth is my planet.
And until next time, man, get your green thumb out, and if it's brown, turn that thing green. I'll see y'all very soon. Spring is in the air, and I cannot be happy enough. Thank you guys as always for tuning in and the support. Peace.
Killing these songs, leaving them bloody like Parustu. And I'm in it to win it, so I'm somebody that you should get used